How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name's Keaton. I run a company called OrthoPatients. We run Facebook ads for orthodontists all over the US and Canada. So if you're an orthodontist, feel free to reach out to me using the link below, and you can schedule a call with a member of my team so that we can start running these types of ads that I'm going to explain in this video. If you're not an orthodontist, we're going to cover a lot of tips and strategies that apply to any local business, and that's why you're here in this video, so let's jump right into it. The reason that this video isn't starting in the Facebook Ads Manager, we're going to get to that point down the line, but I really need to stress a few things before we even touch the Facebook Ads platform that so many people aren't talking about. So let's go ahead and look at what I've written on the whiteboard, and then we'll jump into my computer. I'll put a timestamp below so you can jump directly into the computer part. You can kind of see, but I highly recommend sticking around for this preliminary part because it's more than just clicking buttons, and most of the hard work happens before you go to Facebook. So yeah, let's look at what I have written here on the whiteboard. So the first one is ask the right cue, or ask the right question. What I see all the time is people are asking, you probably did this when you found this video or you saw it on my channel, you're wondering, how do I run a Facebook ad? So that's what you searched. The wrong question to ask is, how do I run a Facebook ad? The right question to ask is, how do I market my business? What messaging, what branding, what follow-up do I need in place in order to make a profit? Not how do I run a Facebook ad? So we're going to talk a little bit further about that down the line as well. The second one is that local business and e-commerce ads are so different. So there's a lot of you that probably looked up, how do I run a Facebook ad? And you might be running ads for an e-commerce business or an information product business. This is not going to apply to you. A lot of what I'm talking about today does correlate a little bit, but these things are two totally different games. So make sure that if you're watching this, that you're a local business or you run ads for local businesses, because this is going to apply to you, not to any other type of marketing. The third thing that you need to understand is when I talk about Facebook ads, I mean Instagram ads as well. So Facebook and Instagram, Facebook is owned by Instagram and the ads platform is integrated. So whenever you run an ad on Facebook, you have the option to run it on Instagram as well. In fact, it's the default to run it on Instagram as well. And when I say ad, if you're completely new to this game, that's sponsored content that comes up on your feed or on other people's feeds. In this case, it would be people in your area that it's popping up on their feed from your business. So those are the first three things. The fourth one here is that having organic content is a prerequisite to running ads. It's not technically a prerequisite, but it's very important. So what organic content is that's anything that's not paid. That's what you can just go on your Instagram profile and post, or go on your Facebook profile and post. And I mean your business profile when I'm talking about those. So you need to have at least a little bit of good organic content on those pages before you start running paid ads, because people are going to click through from your ads to your profile, and if there's nothing on there, they're going to have no reason to want to do business with you. So make sure that you do have a little bit of good content. You know, you don't have to have a ton, but at least have something on there before you start running paid ads. And the other benefit to this is that it will teach you what people are interested in and what they respond well to before you even start running the ads, which is awesome. So we've got organic content. Then we're going to go to this one, putting the customer first. This is the problem that I see so many people make with Facebook ads. They type in how to run a Facebook ad on YouTube. Somebody teaches them how to click the buttons, and then it doesn't work, and they give up, and they're not sure why it didn't work. And the real reason behind this is because you didn't put the customer first. What needs to happen is that you need to be inside your customer's head. You should be able to write their journal entry every single day. You should be able to understand who they are, how they relate to your product, why they relate to your product, and why they buy it. So there are two really good ways to do this, and the first one is to conduct customer surveys. There's a book by Clayton Christensen called Competing Against Luck that has an excellent idea of how to do this that I've done before. Basically, you ask clients to go through their customer journey. If you're an orthodontist, you would say, when did you start thinking about getting braces or Invisalign? Why did you choose us for your consultation? What about the consultation helped you make the decision? What have you enjoyed about your experience? What have you not enjoyed about your experience? Doing these types of surveys, excellent way to get inside your customer's head and understand what sorts of things you should be talking about in your marketing. And again, something you should do before you ever touch the Facebook ads platform. The other way to do this is if you've been around forever, like let's say you've been an orthodontist or you've owned your company for 40 years in your local area, you understand the people, you hear the things that come up over and over and over again as pain points or as things that people love. And so you need to discuss those in your marketing as well. Put the customer first. You need to understand them. You need to be able to write, again, a journal entry for them. I can't overstress the importance of this. And then this last one is medium versus message. So this kind of goes back to asking the right question. So the medium is going to be Facebook ads or Instagram ads or Google ads or YouTube ads or organic content on any of those platforms or your website, whatever it is. The medium is less important than the message that you're putting out on that medium. So if you are a local business and you're running Facebook ads and they say, hey, we're so cool, come check us out, even though you're using the most powerful advertising platform known to man, Facebook ads, and your message sucks, and so it's not going to attract anybody that you want to come into your practice or into your business. So you need to understand that your message is what comes first, and then you just bring that message to the specific medium and you learn how to advertise using that medium. So those are a few things that you definitely need to understand before you start running Facebook ads. By no means is this an exhaustive list, but it's pretty close. And I would just make sure that you do any of these things before you actually start touching the platform and trying to get onto the pixels and all the tech and figuring out how it all works. The most important thing is to have a message dialed in and then go to the medium. And the way that you dial in your message is by putting your customer first. So let's look at what we have on the other side of the whiteboard here. So you might be like, Keaton, what the heck is this? This is my representation, kind of stolen a little bit by one of my mentors, Sam Ovens, where he talks about machine learning as it relates to the Facebook ad algorithm. And it also might come from Jason Hornung as well. I'll link down to him below. I know that Sam has learned from Jason. So basically, the Facebook ad platform, this is the other thing you need to understand about this specific medium, is that it's machine learning. It's based on machine learning and artificial intelligence. So the way that you can think about it is think about this as kind of like the highway. Everybody's driving down here. Everybody that's advertising on Facebook is driving down, and these all represent, people's phones or a person looking at Facebook, whether it be on their phone or on their desktop. And so what the Facebook ad algorithm, when somebody talks about the algorithm, Facebook ad algorithm is in charge of is taking advertisers off the main highway and then putting them in front of a user. And then let's say this is you're an orthodontist, and you come in here and you advertise to this person, and this person does not like your ad. They just skip right past it. It was like they didn't even see it. So Facebook's going to think, okay, how old is this person? What are their interests? How long have they been on Facebook? It's got a whole profile on who this person is. And so it's going to say, all right, this person didn't really like the ad. We've only shown it to one person, so we're just going to keep showing it like this. So we're going to this person did like it. This person sort of liked it, kind of neutral. This person didn't. Yes, yes, no, no, yes, yes. So then it's going to take all of these yeses and it's going to group them into and look at their attributes. And it's going to say, okay, so if you're an orthodontist, most likely what it's going to do is say, okay, these are women from 30 to 50 that have kids. This is the thing that we can tell they all have in common. And for your business, it might be different. But for orthodontists, that's what we found that it normally is. So it's saying, okay, all of the people clicking on this ad have these attributes in common. Now we're going to take all of the ads, all of and going down the highway, this is what costs money, right? This is what you pay Facebook to do. So we're going to take all of the money that they're paying us every day, and we're going to try to show it to as many people as we can that match this type of attribute, that are women from this age to this age. And we're going to show this ad to as many people who are as similar as possible to the initial people that we showed this to that liked it, because we want the ad to be relevant for them. We want them to be able to understand what they're looking at, and we want, if they're looking to make a purchase decision on braces or any sort of other business, we want to show them an ad that might help them with that purchase decision, because then Facebook makes more money because advertisers are happy, the users are happy because their ads are personalized. Well, some people don't like that, but you get what I mean. So basically what Facebook's going to do is it's going to come here and it's going to say, okay, we already know this person, like let's say they're a 70-year-old male, like we're just not even going to show this one. So this one's off. And then they're going to come in here and they're going to say, okay, yeah, this lady, she is definitely in our target market and she has lots of friends that look like it too, that are going to react to this ad well. And it's going to keep going and keep going. So the reason that local business ads are so different than e-commerce ads or info products or anything else that you're selling to a wide audience is that your audience is extremely limited. So let's say that you're an e-commerce brand and you're selling like toiletries, you're Dollar Shave Club, and you're selling shaving cream and shavers for men all across the world. Your market cap there, the amount of people that you can sell to is like 3 billion. You can afford to have a very, very, very big audience on Facebook and show your ad to as many people as possible, because you're selling something that each one of them needs and you have a global audience. When you're a local business, you're taking, Dollar Shave Club has, let's say this is the world right here. Hopefully you can see this. At Dollar Shave Club literally can target the whole world and they're going to make sales. But you have a very tiny pinprick of that world. And so when you zoom in and you target your local area, there are clients that I have that there are only 70,000 down to like 30,000 people in their area. And so how are you going to advertise? How are you going to spend millions and millions of dollars? I know you don't want to spend millions of dollars, but how are you going to spend tons of money on Facebook when Facebook is charging you, like the impressions are not that expensive? And so I've had ads that are running to this audience of 70,000, and then in addition to this, we run an ad to 70,000, then we cut it in half because it responds better to women. So now we're down to like 35,000, let's say. So we cut this from 70,000 to 35,000, and pretty soon Facebook is going to run out of people to send this to. And so the issue that a lot of people run into with Facebook ads is that they try to target too closely. When in reality, once you've targeted super close, like once you've narrowed a geographical area, you don't need to do any more targeting. That is all you need to do, because the audience simply isn't big enough. And if you try to go super, super small, you're basically telling Facebook, okay, you can only show it to these people, very, very small amount of people, and then it's just it doesn't know what to do, so the optimization engine gets jammed and the algorithm can't do what it was meant to do. So you need to keep it as wide as possible so that it can grab data from other people and then create the successful ad that you want. The other thing to keep in mind with this algorithm is that every single person on here is just that. They're a person. And you're a person as well. Although you're a brand and maybe you're going like business to person, really it's just person to person. And so what a lot of people think is the key to Facebook ads is understanding the algorithm, figuring out how to do great targeting, figuring out how to do all this stuff. But really at the end of the day, what people want is just to relate to other people, especially on social media. And they want products that they want coming up on their feed. You need to understand that there are humans on the other side of your ad, not robots, and you're speaking to humans. So the pictures that you use, the copy that you write in your ads, all of these things go together to create a successful interaction with a human, and that's what makes your ad successful. It's not the targeting. The targeting matters very, very little. As long as you're targeting people that live close to the area around you, none of the rest is going to matter. And here at the very bottom we have follow-up, which is also a very essential part of everything that you're doing here, because without follow-up, you're just having this initial touch point with people, and that's not going to turn into a sale 99% of the time. So following up with people through posting social content, continuing to run ads, following up with them manually by texting, calling, voicemail drops, all of these things are going to improve the performance of your Facebook ads, because Facebook is just allowing you to get people into the top of your funnel. And then once they're in the top of that funnel, you're trying to move them down all the way until they purchase. And that's called nurturing, that's called following up, it's called posting things organically. All of these things go into creating a successful ad campaign, not just the ad itself. Okay, so that was a lot, but it's definitely gonna help you once you start running ads yourself. Now let's hop into my computer and we're going to look at the actual buttons you need to click with all of this in mind that we've already discussed. Okay, so here we are in my computer, and we're gonna go ahead. I've set up this demo ad account and a demo practice page. Before you run any ads, again, you need to have a business page, both on Facebook. You don't have to have one on Instagram, but it's a good idea to have one. So if you don't know how to set those up, or you don't know how to set up a business manager, I'll link to a video that talks about those things so that you can check it out. But here we go. We're gonna go into the ad account, and once we're in here, to create a new campaign, you just come in here and click create. And so there's 3 different levels, and if we go back here, I'll show you. There's 3 different levels to an ad campaign. The top level is the campaign, and then inside the campaign you have different ad sets, and then inside each ad set you have ads, and you can have multiple. You could have as many ad sets theoretically as you want inside one campaign, and you can have as many ads theoretically as you want inside one ad set. So it goes campaign, ad set, ads, and when we click create here, it's going to take us in, and we're setting up the campaign, and then we're setting up the ad set, and then the ad. And this normally isn't going to be here. It's just here because this is a demo, and that's why it's there. So anyways, when we come in here, it's going to ask us what our marketing objective is. When you come in here, it's going to ask you the special ad category. I'm creating a campaign for ads in a special ad category. You can just ignore that, but it's going to ask you what your marketing objective is, right? So we've got brand awareness, we've got reach, we have traffic, engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation, messages, conversions, catalog sales, and store traffic. So as a local business, there are only a few of these that you're actually going to use. So app installs is going to be out. Lead generation, video views, engagement, traffic, and messages. This is mostly where you're going to live. Conversions, this tends to be for e-commerce products or information products, although you could have some uses for it as a local business. Catalog sales, again, this is going to be e-commerce. Store traffic, I've never used this. I'm not sure. I really haven't heard anything amazing about it. But it's a little bit, it's kind of an interesting objective. Basically, you're telling Facebook that you want people to come visit you in your store, but the odds of them being able to track that the right way are kind of low. So then awareness, brand awareness, and reach. What reach refers to is the idea that you are reaching a specific amount of people. So when you run an ad, there are impressions, and then you have the reach of those impressions. So impressions is how many times your ads have been seen, and the reach is how many people it has been seen by. So if you have 10 impressions, but you only have a reach of 5, that means that everybody who's seen the ad has seen it twice. And brand awareness, this is really similar to reach, but it's more focused towards impressions instead of just reaching the maximum amount of people total. So those are all of the different options that you have in here. And honestly, I could go down each one of these rabbit holes and show you how to set everything up the right way. I run most of my campaigns through Messenger. So I'm going to go ahead and click on messages here, and we're going to say messages test campaign. So here on create A/B test, you can just leave that off. I haven't found the results on that to be very good. And Facebook already A/B tests your stuff, so I wouldn't turn it on. And the daily budget for, depending on your area, obviously it's going to be more expensive if you live in a more expensive area. It's kind of like real estate, where if the real estate's super expensive in LA, for example, your ads are going to be pretty expensive there as well. Same thing with Florida. Obviously ads don't follow real estate exactly, but they do. It does correlate a little bit. So in my area, $10 a day is going to be close to overkill because of how many people are in the area and how cheap it is to reach them. So I'm just going to do $10 a day. Then I'll click set up ad count. Again, if you've already set it up, you won't have this. So I'm just going to click continue. So when we're doing a messages campaign, it's going to give us 3 different options here. We can do messenger, click to messenger, or sponsored message. So click to messenger is where somebody clicks and then it sends them through an automated conversation with a bot, or it just collects their name, phone, and email for you so you can follow up with them later. Sponsored message is where you send a message directly to their Facebook Messenger inbox, kind of like an email. WhatsApp Business, this is a new one I haven't used much. I've heard some good things about it. And then Instagram Direct, this is actually brand new, it looks like. So when a person clicks on your ad, a message thread with your business will open in Instagram Direct. Your ad will be shown to people more likely to message in Instagram Direct. So that's something I wanted to mention earlier that I forgot. All of these are behavior. This is behavioral based targeting. So Facebook knows, just like it said here, your ad will be shown to people more likely to message in Instagram direct. Let's say Facebook has a profile on 10 or 15 people. It knows which of those 10, there's probably 2 or 3 that are more likely to message in Instagram direct. Same with Messenger. If there's 10 people, they know which 2 or 3 of those 10 people are more likely to message in on Messenger. So it's taking the behaviors of the people on the platform, and when you select brand awareness and reach, this isn't really behavioral based targeting, but when you do traffic, it targets people that like to click through to websites. When you do engagement, it targets people who like to like, comment, and share. When you do video views, it targets people that like video views. When you do lead generation, it targets people that like to do submit their name, phone, and email. So all of these things correlate to a behavior that Facebook has matched to each of its users. So you come in here, Messenger is what we're going to select. And then, so the audience here on the ad set level, this is where you do your targeting. So again, for a local business, this is going to be different than any other type of business. So you come in here to create new audience or use save audience. Create a new audience is what you're going to want to do 99% of the time. So you come into locations here and select the location. So I'll just put in this 123 Paris Street. Let's say I live in Canada, and this looks like a pretty not very populated area. So we're just going to keep it how it is, pretty wide, 10 miles. But if you are in, let's say we're in Manhattan or something like that, and whoops, not Kansas. Let's say we're in Manhattan, New York. So we can target that there, and it's going to target that whole area. So you can do a radius, you can even do a zip code. So let's do like 22, I think this should be a zip code, 22053. So it looks like that's a, I don't know, that's probably latitude or longitude. Looks like it took us to Africa. But if you know your zip code, you can also type that in there. If you know your city name, you can do just that, the name of that city. For example, there's a city close to me called Cedar Hills, Utah. So I come in here, so it's gonna target just that, but if I click this button, it'll say, I can say current city only, and it'll just target that. That's what I did with Manhattan as well. So you can do city, you can do zip code, and you can also use the radius around a certain point. You can also take a pin and just drop it in here. If you want to drop pin, put it in there, and then you can choose the radius around there, higher or lower. So those are all the options there. So let's go back to this original one. Let's say we're in Canada, and we do 123 Paris Street, and then we want to keep 10 miles around. So what we want to do, you can select people living in or recently in this location. You can do people living in this location, recently in, or traveling. So depending on your business, you'll know which one to select. But if you're just a regular brick and mortar business that services people that live in your area, you're probably just going to do people living in this location. And then the age and the gender, again, this is why you need to understand your customer so well. So look at your current customers and understand, okay, are 80% of them women between 30 and 50? We should probably just target that 80%, because you can try to target everybody, but the Facebook is going to do a little bit better when you give it just enough idea about who to show this to. So the age, let's say we're doing this for an orthodontist. I'm going to change this to 30 to, I'd probably do 55, just because I don't want to constrict it too much. And as you can see, the potential reach here has gone down quite a bit. It's 42,000 people. And then I'd change that just to women, and it's even dropped down even more, 22,000. So for this area, I'd probably keep it open to men and women, but I'd keep those ages the same, maybe even go down a little bit, maybe to 25. And don't worry too much about, not showing your ads to the right people, because Facebook's going to know. You just need to give it a wide enough berth so that it can understand who to show the people to, and have a little bit of a room to experiment. Detailed targeting, you don't need any of this as a local business. You should just turn it off. Especially, if you're in Manhattan and you're doing like a 2 mile radius, 1 mile radius, you're totally fine to leave this off as well. The targeting itself, the geo-based targeting, is going to be enough. So you can save this audience if you want, but you don't have to. And then as far as custom audiences, if you're wondering about this, with custom audiences or lookalike audiences, basically what I've found with this is that just targeting cold geo-targeted traffic is the best thing to do with local business ads. We've done it for a really long time, and that's what works best. So don't worry about any of this stuff. You'll scroll down, and then placements. This is an interesting thing. So when you click on manual placements here, this is going to show you all of the different, what a placement is where your ad is going to show up. So since this is a messenger ad, it's only allowing me to show it in like these places on Facebook and Instagram, and none of these are options here. So if, let's say I didn't want people to show it on, see it on Facebook Marketplace or Facebook Explore, and I think Messenger Stories aren't going to work either. So I would turn those off, and then Facebook can only show it on these specific placements. With Messenger, what I tend to do is just do automatic placements because the options are already so limited that it works pretty well with automatic placements. And then you'll come in here. You can also select the devices that you want it to be shown on. So you can do just mobile devices or just desktop devices. And if you're not using the Messenger objective, you can also select iOS devices or Android, which is super interesting. But I would just leave all of this open. Again, as a local business-based advertiser, you just want to leave it as open as humanly possible. So then this is basically just so Facebook knows what they're doing when they're targeting, and you really can't edit any of this. It's just so they're telling you what's happening. So when you see here the ad set spend limits, none added, when you get charged, impression, so you can edit it. The ad set is part of a campaign that you're using campaign budget optimization. If you have spending requirements for this ad set, add them here. So this ad set, basically what it's saying with campaign budget optimization, if you created more than one ad set, or you created more than one targeting set is what an ad set is, then the campaign is going to optimize between those ad sets and pick the best one. But if you want spending limits on just one ad set, then you can go in here and edit that. But most of you are going to have one ad set anyway, so it's really not a big deal. I would just ignore all of this. So now you're going to come in here, make sure that your Facebook page is selected, and then select your Instagram page if you need to select that. And then you're going to come in and do probably single image or video. You could also do a carousel or anything else. Okay, so with all of that understanding, when you select single image or video and you come here to add media, remember what we talked about with the algorithm. It's not the targeting that's going to matter. This is the most important part of creating your ad. So you're going to come in here, and the picture you select, the words you use are the most important part of what you're doing here, because if you don't do it the right way, no one's going to click on your ads and nobody is going to care. So you're going to come in here to media and you'll select an image. What I find works best for most of my clients is not choosing stock photos and not choosing any photos that are just kind of ugly and aren't going to work. So if you come in here to add image, there are a few different options. You can add account images, page images, Instagram images, or stock photos. So again, I really don't recommend using stock photos, but for now we're gonna use one because I don't have any pictures that I feel comfortable putting on YouTube for, you know, like my client's pictures. So I'm gonna come in here and say orthodontist. Once I type in orthodontist, we've got all of these kinds of pictures that are stock photos. So I kind of like this one, and this is honestly, if you had this in not a stock photo, this was the actual doctor in your practice with a real patient, this is going to be an awesome type of picture because it shows the doctor in action doing what he does every day, and people really like that. One of the pictures that's done the best for me and one of my clients is just him standing in front of his practice and saying, hey, this is me, this is what we do, click through to our website. It's done super well. People love it because they recognize the practice from the outside, and they like the organic feel of just having somebody's picture, that, you know, an everyday person that runs this orthodontic practice coming up on their Facebook feed. It feels less salesy, and it feels like a friend reaching out to you, you know. So once you have your picture here, your primary text is the next most important thing to focus on. And the primary text is what's going to come up here above the picture. So what you want to do here, and the trick with most interruption advertising, is not to go straight for the sale. Instead of going straight for the sale, the trick is to kind of lure people in with a hook and then later try to sell them down the line. And this is like advertising 101. You're creating some sort of lead magnet, is what they call it, where people exchange their name, their phone number, and their email for something that you're going to give them for free. And then down the line, you're following up with them and eventually selling them on your products and services. So for orthodontists, what we've discovered is that people want to know how much their treatment is going to cost. That's the number one question they have about everything. So if I type that in here, have you ever wondered how much braces cost? Click below to find out. And you know, we have some better copy than this. It's always fun to like add in different emojis. You can look at other advertisers, your competitors, and see what they're running, or model what they're doing for yourself. And that's an awesome option as well. So I'm going to change this and say click below to try our braces calculator. So the reason that this works is that it hooks people because it's a question that they've always had. You're entering the conversation in their head, which is the number one rule of copywriting. Copywriting is the words that you're using in your ads. The number one rule there is to enter the conversation that's already happening in your customer's mind. Because what do you do when you've been thinking about, let's say you've been thinking about buying sushi, or you've been thinking about buying kitchen knives, this is a good one, and you go to Costco and there it is, there's the kitchen knife demonstrator, and he's showing how cool these kitchen knives are that they're selling at Costco. They have entered the conversation that was in your mind. And that makes a really big difference because you're resonating with them on a mental, emotional level that makes them feel like you understand them and you understand their pains and where they want to move towards. So this says, ever wondered how much braces cost? Click below to try our braces calculator. In the headline, we're going to say, try our braces calculator. And this is where they can click, and you could also say, click to try our braces calculator. And what that's going to do is encourage them to click even more. It's a very direct call to action. It shows them exactly what to do. And instead of saying click below to try our braces calculator, I can put click send message below to try our braces calculator, so people don't get frustrated by trying to click on the picture and the picture doesn't work. They understand where to click, and then adding those brackets around it just kind of like helps their brain categorize it so they know where to click. So then the description down here, this is going to show up below the headline. And again, keep in mind that this isn't going to show, when it says optional, it says the description is an additional text that appears in some placements. Its position on the ad varies by placement. And sometimes it's not even going to start, it's not even going to show up at all. So if I do desktop newsfeed, I can type this in and it'll show up below. It's not even showing up from here. But these are all the different options. You can click through and see what it's going to look like on Instagram, Instagram stories, Instagram Explore feed, all of these different things. So the description isn't super important, but sometimes what I put here is I'll put my address, the address of the practice. So just say 123 Paris Street, Ontario, so that they see that, oh, this is like a local ad. It kind of registers with them. And again, that's going to show up down here below, but only some of the time. And then the call to action, we're going to do send message here. You could also do learn more, but I like send message. And then when you're clicking here, you're going to say start conversations or generate leads. So start conversations is going to target people who are more likely to have a conversation with your practice or with your business, and leads, generate leads, is going to target people that are more likely to submit their name, phone, and email. And so what you can do here is come into create, and then let's say hi Keaton, click below to try our braces calculator. And this usually takes forever to load everything that you type, just so that you know. And then instead of doing frequently asked questions, I'm going to come here to, you can do quick replies. You can also do buttons. So a quick reply is down here. It gives them like the option to click this button. And a button is going to be, if I put that there, it's going to show up right below here so that they can click that. So let's say we want to do a button today and we say, try the calculator. And then instead of opening a website, we're going to say send a post back. And then this will be sent back to your webhook. So this is where you start integrating with third-party softwares. We're not going to go into that in this video. But so instead of button, I'm actually going to do a quick reply here and say, try the calculator. And then depending on what you're doing, you can also type in something like, where are you located? And then once that comes up, they can click either on try the calculator or where are you located. And then once they click on that, it's just going to ask that question, and then you can jump into that messenger conversation and start replying to them. So that's going to be start conversations. If you want to generate leads, it's going to be a little bit different, because you'll be able to, you can come in here and say, hi, answer a few questions so we can get to know you better. What city do you live in? And then the quick reply can be their city. And then you can also add in another question, like what's your phone number? And then once they say their city, it's going to ask this question. And then once they come in here, you can say company name, what company do you work for? And they can reply. So that's pretty awesome. There's a lot of other functionality here. You can also use third-party softwares like ManyChat to create longer conversations with the people within Messenger, which is an awesome option that we use with our clients all the time. So that is how you create a Facebook ad for a local business from beginning to end, covering all of the psychology that you need to understand, as well as the importance of, the unimportance of targeting, as well as the importance of creating an ad that hooks people and helps them want to take action. Just to go back a little bit and talk just a little bit more about these other options. If you select traffic, you're going to need to set up a landing page. So if you select engagement, video views, or lead generation, you're not going to have to set anything up outside of Facebook, but you're also probably going to have less results. Lead generation, that's not totally true. It's going to be less work overall. If you want the least amount of work, then definitely choose lead generation. You can get great results with this as well. So thanks again for tuning into the video. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be releasing more in-depth tutorials like this to help you grow your business. And thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one.